Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Sean, Denver real estate agent with Co-Listings, and I'm coming at you with a March 2019 real estate market update to get you up to speed on everything that's going on in the local Denver market. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to cover 5 topics. First one is days on market. Second, months of housing inventory. Then number of new listings, sales price, and the last topic that I'll cover for this video is mortgage rates. I'll look at big picture from 1971 to present, as well as a little bit more of a smaller look, 2009 to 2019. Median cumulative days on the market is sitting at 16 days, and this is looking at February's data, February 2019. And how does that look right now? Well, that's a 62.5% drop from the month prior, and that looks pretty significant. I checked that several times and feel very confident that that is correct. And looking year over year, it's 62.5% increase. So last year was far better than this year in terms of how long it's taking to sell a house once it's put on the market. Let's drill down a little bit further so you can get a visual for what's going on year over year. As I have mentioned in previous videos, we tend to see valleys and troughs throughout the year, with the bottom of the market, or the slowest part of the market, being in the wintertime, which makes sense, of course, because it's colder outside, it's snowy, and so on. You've got that inclement weather, whereas summertime is peak. Everyone is in a good mood, the weather's great, and school is not in session. So what we see here is the peak of cumulative days on market is the longer that it sits, essentially. So we can see that over the winter, over this past winter, we did see a higher than usual days on market, both for median and for average, with 47 days on market in January of 2019 and 26 days on market for median in the same time period, January 2019. What did that look like last year? Well, at the depth of the market, it was 44 days average in January 2018 and 15 days median in December of 2018. So we are seeing a little bit of a tick up. I don't think it's anything to sound the alarm bells about, but definitely an interesting trend that we saw it take longer for a house to sell this winter, in the depth of the winter market, than it has in previous years. In fact, we haven't seen this high of a cumulative days on market since maybe 2014, 2015. The other thing that I want to key into here, which I mentioned at the top of this particular section, is the cumulative days on market for February 2018. So not last year, but 12 months ago or 13 months ago. That was 6 days. It took 6 days median days on market to sell a house. Last month, February 2019, 16 days. So an uptick of 10 days year over year, which is a pretty significant change, something to keep an eye on. How about months of housing inventory for single family homes? Not much to report here. 0% increase month over month, but 100% increase year over year. It was the same last month, and the same thing for several months in a row. You can see we flatlined in terms of months of housing inventory. That's not bad or good. 7 months straight of 2 months of inventory. Still extremely tight in comparison to 2010 to 2012, where we were looking at like 14 and 16 months of inventory. So all things considered, months of housing inventory is still incredibly tight, which means that there's more buyers fighting over the same house, and that should continue to push things up in terms of average and median sales price, which we'll get to here in just a moment. Number of new listings, 3,042 homes. That's a nearly 6% increase month over month, and a 6.5% increase year over year. So more homes on the market slightly. To give you a visual picture for what that looks like, this is a very positive trend for buyers, and not really anything to be concerned about on the seller side. It just means that there's more options around, which should sort of temper the crazy frenzy that we have seen in previous years. Median sale price is sitting at $425,000 even. That's a 1.41% increase month over month and a 1.18 decrease year over year. And this really gives you a visual for what's going on here. The aggressive market that we saw in previous years is tempering out a little bit. It's not dropping, but you can see over on the right, both median and average have not been as aggressive. You can see that over the last, let's say, 6 to 8 months, it's just been tempered a little bit more. We haven't seen the price aggression that we have seen in previous years. So the last 12 months in particular look quite flat, and aggressive growth seems to be tapering off. And last topic for this video is mortgage rates, and these stats are coming from Freddie Mac. The 30-year fixed rate is sitting at 4.41% with a half a point. The 15-year fixed is sitting at 3.83%, and the 5-1-year adjustable is sitting at 3.87%. What do things look like since 1971? Well, here you go. You can look at the good old days of the early 80s where interest rates for mortgages were sitting above 15%. We're definitely not that high, but things seem to be creeping up a little bit. And one other thing that I'll point out about this chart here is that the gray vertical areas indicate recession. Let's drill in and look at the last 12 months here. Slowly and steadily increasing a little bit, but still very, very positive and sitting under 5%. Back in 2013, you did see interest rates below 3%, which were definitely fantastic. And you're sitting at about 4.5% or so mortgage rates at the moment. What's my overall sense of the Denver metro real estate market? Well, I think we're continuing to see this tapering off of the really super aggressive sellers market. It is getting a little bit more favorable for buyers. Buyers have a little bit more leverage, but it still very much is in favor of sellers and the sellers market, knowing that we have still an extremely tight inventory. I just think that buyers aren't as willing to pay that aggressive premium to get that house. So it's looking a little bit more like a balanced market. Just keep that in mind. And interest rates are still really, really great. And we still have one of the lowest unemployment rates here in the state of Colorado in comparison to the rest of the country. And that means that people can move here and find jobs relatively easily. So all of these sort of make up a very positive real estate market, both for buyers and sellers, which I'm optimistic about. That wraps up this March 2019 real estate market update for Denver. If you have any questions, please feel free and put them in the comments down below. If you're watching this and not subscribed, consider subscribing or hitting that like button. Sean Mitchell, Co-Listings, Denver Real Estate Agent, signing off. I'll see everyone on the next video.